For this training exercise, we utilized a city-owned, vacant industrial facility. The facility included buildings, a storage yard, and a large wooded area. There is an adjacent animal control building and other county facilities. Our mock mission profile involved a search for 3 missing teens, which were last seen loitering in the facility parking lot next to an abandoned van. Empty alcohol containers were located at this site. There were no signs that the building had been entered. The teens were several hours overdue for an important family event. The Air Operations Branch Command, Tactical Mobile Command Trailer, was parked next to the last known location, the old abandoned van in the parking lot. Responding units included 2 neighboring fire departments and the county sheriff's department. The host agency had the lead and provided the command staff, ground searchers, and logistical staff. All agencies provided aircraft, pilots, and visual observers. Aircraft ranged in capability, with 1 able to legally facilitate a beyond visual line of sight operation, and 2 equipped with thermal imaging cameras. The team was comprised of firefighters and sheriff's deputies from 3 agencies. The host agency assumed command and provided the key roles of air boss, technical specialist, and air operations scribe. It is policy that all search and rescue operations be considered to be a crime scene until proven otherwise. There were approximately 17 participants. For some, it was their first functioning as a joint agency air operations team. The air boss performed a mission briefing and pre-flight checklist. We found the weather to be clear, no clouds, yet with minor wind gusts. The operation was greater than 5 miles from the county airport, in Class G, with an overlying transition Class E at 700 feet, with no other airspace restrictions in place at the time. Visual observers were instructed to announce any and all aircraft within the area. Additionally, the technical specialist was monitoring ADSB-equipped aircraft in SAR topo. For the exercise, we deployed 3 rabbits into the wooded area. Additionally, we scattered evidence in the storage yard areas. We performed 1 search in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. Round 1 resulted in 2 located all the evidence, and yet were unable to locate 1 subject within the time limit. Round 2 resulted in locating all 3 subjects and all the evidence. We will now discuss the Air Operations Branch Organization. The Air Operation Commander for a public safety entity can be referred to as the Air Boss. We garnered this term from U.S. Naval Aviation. The short definition is a person who functions as the Air Operations Branch Supervisor by commanding and coordinating a combined aviation response, CAR, of crewed aerial systems, CAS, and uncrewed aerial systems, UAS, for a public safety incident response. A combined aerial response should include command, tactical, and logistical aerial support functions. The size and scope of the incident will determine the aerial response and the incident command system processes deployed. In the interest of aviation safety, we recommend that anytime aerial resources are deployed, an air boss is established. An air boss should possess the critical aviation knowledge that is required. During an incident, the air boss is ultimately responsible for safety, resource management, planning, coordination, and deconfliction of all aerial assets at an incident to ensure a safe and successful operation. An air boss may also serve as a senior officer in command of a public safety remote aviation program. So far, this role has not been formally established widely in the public safety community. The next role we will discuss is the technical specialist. This, too, is not a formally established role within the public safety community. For a public safety remote aviation program, the technical specialist manages the technology needs of the team before, during, and after each deployment. In summary, this role has many functions. Let's go over them individually. Many agencies have external technology support from other departments within a government organization. However, the technical specialist is also a police officer, firefighter, or other first responder who will be able to deploy in an emergency. On an incident, calls to a help desk would be a costly time constraint. The technical specialist will need to become the agency's technology expert in all drone systems and maintenance. Additionally, there are many other related technologies that will need to be addressed: computers, software, communication systems, command vehicles and equipment, etc. The daily function of the technical specialist is to ensure the operational readiness of the air operations team's logistics and equipment needs. Battery maintenance, firmware updates, test flights, and inventory would be critical components of operational readiness. The technical specialist is also a team leader within the organization and usually leads the air operations logistics team. Finally, the technical specialist must be Part 107, certified to independently fly and test aircraft systems. The Remote Pilot in Command, RPIC. Quote, the person who has been found by the public safety entity to be properly qualified to exercise the privileges of remote pilot and has the final authority and responsibility for the operation and safety of a UAS operation as determined by the authority having jurisdiction. Unquote. NFPA 2400-4.1.4.6. The Visual Observer, VO. Quote, a person who assists the RPIC and the person manipulating the flight controls of the small UAS, if that person is not the RPIC, to see and avoid other air traffic or objects aloft or on the ground. Unquote. NFPA 2400-4.1.4.14. A digital media observer, DMO or squinter, monitors a large screen display from the UAS downlink video feed. This role frees up the pilot from task overload and provides a larger display to discern more detail from the images. Once identified, anomalies are reported to the Air Operations Branch team for further investigations. A BVLOS pilot, RPIC. This is a rather new function that is becoming more widespread in public safety. A BVLOS pilot will need additional training in the legal aspects and supporting technologies. A BVLOS system and remote pilot was utilized during this training exercise. Flown per the agency's authorization for these types of operations. Other roles deployed during this exercise are as follows. Aviation logistics runners are part of the Air Operations Branch Logistics Group. Runners care for and deliver batteries, transport media cards, and any other required materials, equipment, or refreshments, etc. Landing zone safety monitors are part of an Air Operations Branch tactical flight team. Their primary responsibility is to watch over the team's LZ pad, ensures safe landings and takeoffs, communicates with the team as required, keeps bystanders at bay. Comms Visual Observers, CVO, are part of an Air Operations Branch tactical flight team. The comms VO communicates on cell phones and/or radios for the RPIC. The primary purpose is to free up the RPIC from any potential task overload and eliminate all external distractions for the pilot. The Air Operations Scribe are part of an Air Operations Branch command staff. The scribe maintains the Air Operations Branch diary and secures all digital media cards and files to meet digital media as evidence standards and policies. Always assume that any type of incident can evolve into a crime scene. Now we can cover the two basic types of air operation tactical teams. First are the searcher pilot teams, which are mobile teams deployed to various locations. These teams are part-time ground searchers and part-time drone aerial searchers. These operations are visual line of sight only as they are likely to be in areas with dense obstructions. Sorties are flown in the incident's medium and low airspace sections, ground level to less than 250 feet AGL. We will cover airspace altitude sections later in this video. These sorties will be in more confined or smaller ground surface areas. Both manual and autonomous flight control systems can be utilized. The normal team profile is compiled of a remote pilot in command, one or more visual observers, usually less than 3, a pack mule, who is part of the logistics staff to assist the team in managing and carrying equipment and supplies. These teams can deploy on foot, in a vehicle, on horseback, using ATVs or side-by-sides, motorcycles, snowmobiles, bicycles, etc. The second type of tactical team are base location teams. These teams are in mostly stationary locations and likely will remain at these locations during the incident. These teams can fly beyond visual line of sight operations from 300 feet above ground level up to, but not including 400 feet above ground level. Visual line of sight operations from the top of the tree canopy with a buffer and up to, but not including 400 feet above ground level. Sorties can be flown manually piloted, autonomously piloted, or remotely piloted beyond visual line of sight. These operations are in high and medium airspace sections. Once again, we will cover airspace altitude sections later in this video. These operations occur in wider areas and cover more ground surface areas. Flights are initiated and controlled from base location LZs. The beyond visual line of sight operation LZ will be close to the Air Operations Command Post. The normal team profile will include remote pilots in command, gimbal co-pilot, beyond visual line of sight pilot, LZ monitors, logistic runners, and visual observers. Shown are the Air Operations Branch groups. The commander of the Air Operations Branch is the Air Boss. Group roles that report to the Air Boss are the Support Group, the Command Group, and the Air Tactical Group. The organization chart shown is the incident command for our mock search and rescue mission. Under the command of the Air Boss are 3 tactical teams: Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. Additionally, the technical specialist is the leader of the support and command staff. The Alpha team will lead the beyond visual line of sight operation, with 2 pilots, the CP pilot who operates the aircraft from the command post, and the outside pilot who will fly the aircraft to and from the LZ. Both pilots have additional supporting roles to ensure safety. The Bravo team will fly manually from top of the trees to less than 250 feet above ground level. The Charlie team is a searcher pilot team and will search the storage yard for evidence. Here, the technical specialist assists the Air Boss with planning and will use mapping tools like SAR Topo. Shown on the map is the reported last known location LKL of our missing subjects. The strategic center point, SCP location, has been set within the wooded area, as that is the area of highest probability for our search. To aid in communications, the tech spec has added the cardinal direction lines to divide the area into quadrants. Starting at the northeast will be Quad 1, Quad 2 will be at the southeast, Quad 3 will be at the southwest, and finally Quad 4 will be at the northwest. You may choose to identify them as quads or as intercardinal directions. Here, the technical specialist has defined range rings to assist us with time over distance calculations. This is a common practice in search and rescue operations. For the mock incident, 5 range rings are set at the following intervals: 1/16th mile diameter, 1/8th mile diameter, 3/8 mile diameter, 1/2 mile diameter, 3/4 mile diameter. Airspace coordination is vital when operating more than one aircraft in close proximity to another. For multiple aircraft to operate safely in the same general area, the following items must be clearly understood by the teams involved and guidelines established prior to any aircraft taking flight. First, we must define a clear and effective communication plan. This is the responsibility of the Air Boss, with the assistance of the tech spec. Once defined, everyone involved has to be adequately briefed. Airspace boundaries must be respected with no exceptions. Paramount is to announce all takeoffs and returns to the LZ. This is when aircraft will share altitudes. Second, areas are defined in 3 dimensions: x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. The x-axis and y-axis are established on search maps and represent a defined ground surface areas usually illustrated as a polygon. It is recommended that clearly visible ground features and coordinates be used to help pilots define boundaries from the air, i.e., tree lines, roads, water bodies, fences, buildings, etc. Finally, the z-axis is defined as minimum and maximum altitude limitations for each team with adequate separation, buffer zones. The illustrations that follow should make this process clearer. Here, ground feature polygons have been added by the technical specialist to our SAR topo map. 3 ground feature maps, polygons, are drawn, 1 for each air tactical team. Polygon feature lines follow ground features on the ground which the pilot can easily see from the air. This process is known as a ground feature search. For our mock SAR mission, the Alpha team is shown as a red polygon. The Alpha team has a base LZ and is designated as our high team. The Bravo team is shown as a green polygon. The Bravo team has a base LZ and is designated as our medium team. The Charlie team is shown as a blue polygon and is a searcher pilot team and is our low team. Here, this is the same information, but shown in a TF Outdoors SAR topo map view. This type of view gives the command team a less cluttered view. In the command post, the technical specialist will often toggle between map types. Satellite imagery maps, as we previously used, are especially helpful for our tactical teams and pilots. This allows them to better relate a map to what they see on the ground, especially from the air. Here, this illustration is used to show how to coordinate altitudes of multiple aircraft in close proximity. The purpose here is to prevent two aircraft from occupying the same airspace, thus minimizing the risk of a mid-air incident. The key, as we have stated before, is clear communications. Always announce your intentions, especially takeoffs and landings. Let us start with the low-altitude airspace. This can be looked at as anything below and within the tree canopy down to ground level. If a canopy does not exist, a fixed ceiling can be defined by the incident or agency requirements. Additionally, there may be multiple tactical teams flying the low-altitude airspace. The air boss and the technical specialist will ensure sufficient vertical buffers between these teams. The low-altitude airspace areas are restricted to manual flight controls, or also known as freestyle. Above the low-altitude airspace is the low buffer zone. For 3 layers of altitude airspace, you will need a low buffer zone and a high buffer zone. Buffer zones are greater than 25 feet, but less than 50 feet. This will be established by the air boss and command staff during the planning process. Moving on up, the airspace above the low buffer zone is the medium altitude airspace. This layer can extend upward to, but not equal to 250 feet above ground level, or as high as 275 feet. AGL before impacting the high buffer zone. The medium altitude airspace can be manually flown or autonomously flown. When programming the autonomous flight operation, be sure to factor in the required altitude limits. Next is the high buffer zone, which we have previously stated is greater than 25 feet, but less than 50 feet, and depends on the incident. Above the high buffer zone is the high altitude airspace. This extends from the high buffer zone ceiling to less than, but not including 400 feet, AGL. This is designated for autonomously controlled aircraft and BVLOS operations only. Finally, let us not forget the crewed aircraft systems. The CAS buffer is 400 feet, a GL up to 500 feet, a GL, therefore crewed aircraft have a floor of 500 feet, AGL above the incident. Crewed aircraft must request to enter the lower UAS airspaces from the air boss. Make sure CAS pilots are aware of UAS operations in the area and these communication requirements. Here, this illustration is used to show the airspace altitude sections and how tactical teams can communicate their intentions. Command, Delta Team Airborne proceeding to Quadrant 4 for search ops. Command, Charlie Team No Joy and returning to LZ, standing by for next assignment. Command to all teams, hold positions, be aware, Alpha aircraft is returning to Alpha LZ for refueling. Command, Bravo Team Airborne, proceeding to area coordinates 2345 East 3421 North to begin autonomous operations. Here, let us take another look at this model. Again, this model facilitates both crewed aerial systems, CAS, as well as unmanned aerial systems, UAS, for a combined aviation response, CAR. Here you can see the tactical mobile command trailer and its features. This was utilized during the mock SAR training exercise. Next you will see a video that gives you a partial glimpse into our training exercise. This video was shot from inside the Air Operations Branch Command Post. The command post has 2 workstations and room to allow for more. The Alpha Team monitor is the large screen on the left or in the foreground. The Bravo Team is the large screen on the right, and the technical specialist is monitoring this feed. The Charlie Team is searching for evidence or clues inside the storage lot. The rubber duck mentioned is an evidence prop along with a gun, knife, jacket, and walking stick. The Charlie team is a searcher pilot team and cannot provide a feed to the command post. The technical specialist is multitasking. He is squinting for the Bravo team, coordinating communications, managing the airspace, and marking finds or anomalies in SAR topo. The air boss has moved outside temporarily. The Alpha tactical team captain is delegated to be the senior officer inside the command post. The air operations scribe is in the foreground and is coordinating notes with the technical specialist. Pay close attention to the communications. Would you do anything different? If so, leave us a comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up.
Was that a structure? Part of the structure here?
Something.
It'd be on, I would say,
That's still it right there. That's where you were
delta
at.
side of the animal control. Okay. Okay. Bravo's coming back to change batteries. They're at 34%.
Bravo's coming back to change.
Okay. 10-4. 10-4.
Or if that's a piece of metal. I bet that's a piece of metal that I'm picking up on that's just being hit by the sun.
Very well could be.
Oh, they're taking off.
Who's
Team Charlie just took off
Okay.
at 12:35.
Okay. Can you please repeat back that Team Bravo was returning? You said that to Chief Reynolds. That was
They should be RTB right now, Team Bravo, for battery change. They're at 29%.
okay.
Somebody's drone.
That's the Vado.
All right. But there's nobody's been found, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I will scratch that out.
Got one.
You found one?
I'm pretty sure.
Hold it on him. Zoom in here.
It's a tree.
Yeah.
Get on thermal run. It's crazy how Team Tree can get 90 degrees when it's that cold outside.
Command copy, Bravo team, return home for battery.
I was given that. Yep.
Hamburger, did you copy that?
Yes. I was told that command a minute earlier, so I wrote that time down.
Let me get that thing on the ground. It'll drop it quick.
Every time somebody calls it.
Oh, it's a damn Star Wars.
What if we zoomed out, kept it in thermal, and just waited for something to move?
Are they moving?
Yeah, they were told that they'd move around a little bit.
You missed the pad.
Bravo team on the ground.
12:38. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. It just took off. Yeah. Okay.
We should be able to change the colors of the thermal.
Yeah.
All right, got coordinates on that last file.
Do it, I don't know.
35.
Yep.
.48860.
4860.
81.
Command to team Charlie.
Point
We
24.
landed on the ground. Change your battery.
81.24038.
Copy, team Charlie. I got you on the ground.
Alright, was that a jacket or a vest?
Charlie's landed.
Yeah, 1247.
Was it a jacket or a vest?
I didn't hear the call.
It's the same thing. It's the best.
Alright.
Jeez, you should have said 1248.
Well, I mean.
Where y'all at? Y'all are down there.
So they need to find the knife, the walking stick, and 3 people.
I wonder if the walking stick could be over in that pile where that ladder is at.
I just saw something.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It zoomed way in.
Oh, man. I didn't touch it.
Yeah, I know. I saw it too, and then it zoomed way in.
Dang it.
I wouldn't even look at it. Right there.
Right there. That's just the sun.
Thanks for watching. Please feel free to use this content in your public safety remote aviation training programs. Help us improve by commenting. Don't forget to like, share, and hit the notification bell to subscribe to receive future content. You can message me on